Hello, my loves. Welcome to Be for Vibrant. My name is Kellyanne, and if you are coming back, welcome back. If you are here for the first time, welcome to the most compassionate corner of the internet. Well, maybe not the most, but it's only because I'm humble that I try to kind of tamper down on my own sensibilities toward uh, ego. And I think that's what we really need to talk about today. If you haven't been here before, I tap into some of the collective energies that we're all going through in different ways, but at the same time, and try to give some insight into not only what's going on, but the ways that we can move through it or harness it or just sit with it and allow it to teach us what it's meant to teach us in its own way without trying to figure it out or dig deeper. Just like noticing. So here we are talking about the egoic way that we often force our way through things. I'm just tuning into the chat GPT land that I've been finding myself in the past few hours today, and having watched myself kind of argue with chat GPT and just go, okay, let's take a second, you guys, let's take a second here and let's just see what's going on. What's going on with you? The way that it's supposed to make our lives faster and easier and whatever, and yet I find myself needing to correct it all the time and to remind it of things that I already told it, or to just figure out, like, why aren't you giving me all the information? Oh, it's because you have a character limit. Okay, so we're learning our boundaries. But I'm noticing that the frustration comes from not just like having to remind a machine of something that I would have thought it's already got in its algorithm or its list or whatever the heck it does, um, but also the feeling that, like, I should be going faster. Like, this should be making things faster. And I had to, like, step back and come outside and enjoy the sunshine and the cool air that we've gotten from a little cold front here, and just appreciate that the pace that I've always thought that I need to go at. And I feel like this is true for so many of us, and especially for millennials. Like, if you know anything about millennial astrology, and if you're not an astrology person, just, skip ahead a few seconds or stick with me and see if maybe something resonates for you. Huh? Maybe you could be wrong. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. Let's find out together. Um, if you know anything about millennial astrology, you'll know that there are generational planets that are really locked in for our particular generation. And that's why our generation is so strong and not diluted, because we have this really magical crossover of two planets in Capricorn and one planet in Pluto that are just sitting and just living in this 9-year-ish window that locks us in not only to the Scorpio transformation of it all, so we're always trying to, like, figure ourselves out, and we've sort of paved the way for gender expression, but also these two Capricorn placements that we have. I learned through my friend who hosts an astrology podcast that I've been able to guest host on for the past few months. And I'll link that in the caption below for anybody who's interested in seeing those episodes or listening to those episodes. I forget what podcasts do. What we've been talking about are, like, the influences of these major planets, and when we talked about the millennial codes for the planets where we have these generational windows, what we found is that what I found and Emily taught me is that the Capricorn story is one of revisiting the same place over and over and over again, and kind of like never getting to grow up, never getting to fully evolve. Always feeling that sense of like, I am evolving and then being handicapped in some way or held back. And there's a like a selfishness and an ego to it, because part of the story is that there's a father figure who holds his own children back to keep them with him forever. And isn't that just the millennial the millennial story? We have those two Capricorn placements, and we're all like being held back in so many ways throughout the world, throughout the way that the world has been paving the way. And we've also been, needing to go and live with our parents and all these things that we didn't think we would have to do. We were promised that if we just like kept our nose to the grindstone and we kept evolving and leveling up and personal growth and personal development and spiritual journeying, that we would be able to unlock the secret code that makes us money and allows us to buy our own home and do all of these things that we feel like we should be doing by now. And at least that's the code for me. That's a pattern that I've been experiencing throughout my life. So if you are a millennial watching this, I get it. And if you are not a millennial, I hope you get it now. Why we're all sitting with such frustration, and we have such big, fat, swollen, bruised egos about it, because our identity and our sense of self is tied to how much we're able to change the world. And if we don't have money, then we can't change the world. If we don't have stability and safety in our own home, then how can we change if we don't have our own little world unlocked and safe, how are we going to unlock the bigger world and make that more safe? Ah! our big swollen sense of self has been deflated over and over again, because we think we should have been there by now. We think we should be going faster, and we think we need to actually be picking up speed, because if we're this late in the game to where we thought we were going, then we have to speed up now. There's no turning back. We have to speed up now. And that's, if you're, I feel my shoulders rising, like I feel the tension in my body. Absolutely, just like, ugh. So if you're feeling that, just like relax it with me for a second, like release it wherever it's in your body. Just give it a couple of pats and go, it's okay, it's okay. We don't have to be going fast right now. We don't have to be doing too much right now. We get to just be here. There's nowhere else that we have to be. We're totally on time. And even if you don't fully believe that, make believe for a second. Visualize a world in which I'm on an island or I'm at the top of a mountain and there's nothing for me to do but to just watch this YouTube video right now. It feels like we have to be somewhere that we just can't achieve. And I get it if you're in that place, and I feel that tension. And I wanted to bring this awareness into our more collective awareness, because I know that we're all conscious of it on some level, but to bring it forward and then to say, hey, I saw a YouTube video the other day that talked about this. What do you think? And to all be connecting with each other about it. That's kind of what we need so that we can start to feel more normal about what we're all going through. What we're all going through right now is a new code. We're being coded differently. And that's to say that we need to understand that the pace that we thought we needed to go at, the pace that we've been going at, the sort of need to hit the ground running sort of compulsion that we've been experiencing, and especially just recently, this sort of it's funny how like at the at the end of autumn, at the end of fall and going into winter, we feel this snap into action. It's Isn't it funny how we like have to force ourselves to rest sometimes as soon as the earth, the literal entire earth, tells us everybody's about to start resting. Everybody is fattening up and hitting the den and taking a big old nap. So why don't you build a fire and surround it with your friends and just enjoy some hot cocoa, or, chill the fuck out a little bit. As soon as we get that message, we're like, there must be something wrong with that. There must be something wrong with this picture because I'm not supposed to be doing that. No, 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 no. You're not going to trick me. You can't make me rest. You can't make me slow down. We want to hit the ground running. We want to be on fucking fire all the time. Our hair is on fire because we can see that the world is on fire and we're just a bunch of fucking Looney Tunes about it. And that pace is not one that we can thrive in. It's not one that we can continue to build our identities on. We have to figure out, and by figure out, I mean connect with other people and connect with ourselves and release some of our things on our to-do lists about building a different pace into our lives so that we can go slow and go steady. We need steadiness somewhere, right? We don't have it in the economy. We don't have it in our physical reality. We have to build it into our schedule. And as as like Capricorn earth sign, like doing as that sounds, it's also like, the reason that we employ the doing is so that we can get somewhere. And if we've been feeling like we're not getting anywhere and we're trying to go fast, then maybe the pace has been the problem. Because sure, we have this pattern. We have a pattern that's kind of encoded into our astrological generational window there. I'm talking to millennials again. But we have this coding that tells us that we are going to have to start over and over and over and over and over again and feel like we're handicapped. But that doesn't mean that we actually will continue to be handicapped forever. The astrology that helps us to understand ourselves a little better and understand each other a little bit better is not definitive. It's not meant to be like you look in a dictionary and you think like that's the meaning of the word. That is the thing that's going to happen. If I look at this, Scorpio in Pluto activation or whatever, it's not about it, looking at something and saying like that's how it's going to be, in the sense that I can't say that millennials are always going to be held back like this. I can't say that because I don't believe it. We don't deserve to believe that, but also I understand that the patterns that we experience and that we're meant to experience as a generation, meaning together, meaning talking about it and saying, isn't this like something that we're all kind of going through, like I said, in different ways at the same time? If we start talking about it within our generation and people around us who might be watching this video right now connect with us about it so that we can start to unlock that feeling of like it's my fault, as opposed to, oh, it's not just a me thing, It's an us thing, it's a we thing. And that means that I'm not alone in it. And that means that it's not only me. And that means that it's not on me only, my fault. And we get to like release some of that shame. Uh, Release that shame from the pace that we've been going at and choose a new one. Choose a new one for ourselves. Choose the way that we are going to flow so that we don't continue to use personal growth as a means for continuing to people please for others or tell ourselves that we're bad people and we should be ashamed of ourselves because in spite of all that we've learned, we still haven't changed enough or it hasn't gotten us anywhere. We need to be able to change the way that we feel about this pattern so that the pace that we choose can be one that we don't blame for how slowly and how handicapped we feel. Because that's already been the story, my guy. And you've been going quickly, right? You've been trying and you've been tripping a lot. Okay, so why don't we try going slowly and then we won't trip as much, but also we'll be going the same speed. Do you see what I'm saying? We're trying to go fast and we're going one speed actually. But if we actually choose the speed that we've naturally been like assigned to essentially, then we can integrate into the pace that is aligned with our success and what success within our, version of self is meant to be. I would love to hear about your experiences. I've got some dogs who are yelling at me again for being out here without them. So I'm going to go, but I would love to go and find your comments about how you feel about this adapting to the pace that we've already been given. Instead of seeing it as a hindrance and seeing it as a negative pattern, seeing it as a code that we get to write within our stories instead of fight within our stories, that we get to build into our programs instead of collapse and feel ashamed about when our programs fail because they didn't align with the pace that we are supposed to be going at, this slow and steady, this hit the ground running, but not at the same speed as you used to be. Hit the ground running as in have the enthusiasm, have the same level of enthusiasm and confidence and like ecstatic energy toward what you're doing and your projects and your creativity and the things that you are building out into the world that serves others and transforms the world in small and big ways. For us to find a love for our pace, our slowed down, try again, it's okay if you make mistakes and you fail kind of pace, we can break through the shame that keeps tripping us up as we find our way in this world, in the world that white supremacy and colonialism created. Yeah, here we are. We gotta hold each other. we gotta we gotta do like ants when the tides rise, and we gotta form a raft. We have to hold on to each other. So I would love to hear from all of the ants in the comments. Let's hold on to each other and talk about it. I love you so much. You're deserving of all the love you desire, and I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day.